Let me advance your mindset and your physical and your spiritual well-being in a matter of seconds. To worship no one is very powerful in terms of like this. I thought the people that had all kinds of help with vitamins and, protein shakes and creatine and all this. But I don't see nobody doing 25-minute rounds, boxing, with no, all straight bare knuckle. You know what I'm saying? And I thought all those people that were worshiping their God, you know what I mean? Whether it's Jesus, they switched his name from Joshua from Yeshua to Jesus, and they changed his likeness from a native, person of his native area to now he looks European and Greek, like some kind of American Westerner. You know what I mean? Tripping. He's not supposed to look like me. You know what I mean? Who's out there in that area that looks, like they're Roman, Julius Caesar or Greek goddess or God or something like that, because they got them blended in both sexes, you know what I mean? So, people getting all that kind of help and requirements and stuff like that. But I don't see nobody progressing and advancing their spiritual well-being. You know what I mean? Because they require too much. You know what I mean? They're not commanding the presence, the divinity within themselves. You know what I mean? It's nothing selfish. It's nothing of the ego or of higher class systems. None of that. Religion is part of all that. You know what I mean? Oh, you got to wear your best suit. Oh, you got to come check this out, check that out. And you got to check out none, man. You know what I mean? Because when I keep checking you guys out, I see all the petty lies. I see the bankruptcy. I see the, perversion. I see all these things that you require that's easily commanded within your guys' scriptures to easily self-correct. But no one's applying it because it's a religion, politician type trick, hypocrisy, feel sorry for me type mentality instead of let's go out and get this and get it right and get it correct. You know what I mean? Because all the directions are right there. I'm applying the same directions, but I'm not worshiping nobody and advancing. You know what I mean? And you think all these people are going to go and rely on me? Yes, until I embarrass them so much about joining the war machine and made them think at a deep, deep level, to where they had to disown me because I'm going to embarrass them with my presence. Because now, if I ever bump into them, I'm mentioning all this stuff. You know what I mean? Not for the fact that I'm trying to embarrass them and stuff like that. I'm trying to make them acknowledge that you're not fooling nobody. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. If I'm wrong in some particular way, man, let me know. Let me keep continuing, advancing without no requirements of I need this, I need that. You know what I mean? That's lame. Therefore, when people worship somebody, they're worshiping somebody outside themselves and waiting for a mediator, a viceroy to literally come in and intervene in their lives whenever they want everything selfish, they get it without that viceroy. They don't need no idol to remind them when to eat. You know what I'm saying? But you need an idol and stuff like that. You know what I mean? An image to remind you of the sacrifice and things like that. That is crazy. So the same people that are choosing this form of Savior, they converted his image, they converted his likeness, they converted his name. Then again, why would they want to do all these type of things? Because they're not matching up to who they choose as a Savior. They're not matching the teachings and the lessons. They're not applying any of those things in their personal lives. So obviously they're going to alter the person's name and the image and everything like that and have them on a cross, because they like them in that crucified state. They like them in that, and he's not even in that state no more based upon your guys' biblical beliefs. Because I don't believe in none of that. To me, that's a fairy tale. That's a foreign ideology to control people. You know what I mean? An excuse to persecute people. An excuse to keep misinterpreting. Oh, it means this. Oh, it means that. It's all bogus. And I mean straight up. That's why I worship no one. Hogging that. Nah. Get it? Not even myself. So spiritually one with nature, my own divinity within myself will guarantee my own entire eternal salvation for what I choose. Obviously, if all these people that are trying to play as examples of trying to say, hey, come to my church, I guarantee so many things for them in their personal lives, they can never even like mirror the behavior toward me, because they can't. Their heart's not even like that. You know what I mean? You know, they stay within their own bubble because that's their comfort zone. You know what I mean? I could go in there and be a master servant to all of them and show them what's up with everything. You know what I mean? And they're like, hey, tell our kids what to do. What? You've been carrying this Bible for 30, 40 years? You want me to tell your kid what to do? That's a trap so they could disown me and divide between me because you don't want to be the parent. So look at all the advice the idiot advice that I get from them, even though I guarantee them all kinds of things. Here's 6 months rent. Here's this and that. I mean, I see nobody in their family paying for nothing. I mean, everyone's just dropping stuff on the floor like as if like they're about trash. You know what I mean? You know, so all those teachings and all that idea type stuff is out the window, because it proves within their own selves on their own behavior. Forget the words. It's their behavior, you know? So when you see all that and sense all that, just remember, look at their actions, forget their words, you know? Always remember what the truth of the matter is in terms of how are people present themselves, how are people choosing to deceive you, and how are people trying to change your perception for their personal benefit of what? Because misery truly loves company. This is the biggest pervert of them all right here. Pedophile right there, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Straight up, man. Tata Mona hogging that for life. Look at that Tata Mona tree.